So the message to the youth is, don't be bewildered by this glare that Maya is proposing to us, or the illusory energy of the Lord is proposing to us, and that has been dumped by the influence of Western life. I'm coming from there, actually, so I know very much this Western culture. And the result, so the experiment has already been done in the West. Most of the youth in the West are depressed, full of anxiety, antidepressants, committing suicide. All the family relationships are all broken apart. And this is practical reality. This is not my opinion, someone else's opinion. Anyone can go and see, and people are confused. Why is this happening? And the reason is because this culture, the main thrust of this culture is atheism and ultimately sense gratification. How we can enjoy more and more and more, even at the expense of others. Because if the goal of life is to enjoy, then you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that. And that means moral principles, what's right and what's wrong, always adjusts according to what is actually hot, or what is actually interesting in that time period or that generation. So this whole completely different from Vedic culture, which was understanding, yes, sense gratification, okay, whatever is required is there, but really our real self-interest is to serve Krishna, is to have a relationship with God. So don't be bewildered by the glare or the illusion and the glamour you see on television, on the media, that everyone in America must be happy, or everyone in the West must be happy and be satisfied. If I follow them, I follow their principles of life, then I'll also be happy. No, and then you start to question, why is people around me not so happy? Because you're following the wrong principles to live your life. But if you follow the original principles, which were given by the sages and all the previous acharyas, the real heroes of Vedic India, which is originally at the root of your culture, then you'll actually be satisfied. Because they were completely satisfied. You see, they had nothing, they can live out in the hut and completely be happy. They had all the wealth they needed just inside, just by chanting. And previously, your grandparents, all these people, even though they didn't have much, they were more satisfied. They weren't suffering with tension, with all these anxieties, all this depression, all these new diseases that have been imported, psychological diseases that have been imported by the West. It's coming because you're living and following their principles. But if you just change that tendency to follow, and follow the previous acharyas, all the saints, all the sages, and live principles according to them, what's given ultimately by God Himself, by Krishna, then you'll be completely satisfied. So don't be bewildered. This is my message. Hare Krishna.